Today is 1056 data capture us to learn and learning how to support your dreams. You're also allowed to become the person that you want to become. Today, I speak about justifications or excuses. I think a lot of times we really do a great job. They really start with good intentions. We start with good habits, great routines. But a lot of times we sabotage ourselves. A lot of times we take one step forward, one step back, one step forward, one step back, one step forward, one step back. Of course, what happens when you one step forward, one step back? Are exactly where you started. So today, really, I want to speak about those excuses that we potentially found ourselves. I think that I even myself, I found myself justifying my behavior. For example, I love gym. I love going exercising, going to run, uh, weightlifting. But a lot of times when after a gym, I also, I exercised for a couple hours. Now I deserve to eat something delicious. Maybe be a pizza, maybe something that is not healthy in general. And of course, I sabotage my success. That's why I do not have as muscles or physique that maybe I would love to, because I sabotage by justifications. I justify that I went to gym and now I'm able to do really bad habits. But the thing that this is supposed to make a shift, because we're able to say that I went to the gym and I justify bad behavior, or because I'm going to gym to build a momentum. So that means I go to gym, I exercise, and after gym, I'm able to really include the healthiest diet that could improve and build momentum in building health, in building physique, in building energy, all those things. So that means that I think that, of course, I understand that exercise is essential. So it's better to exercise and justify rather than not exercise at all. But if you really want you to really have the body that maybe we're jealous about or envy, we need to understand that if we exercise, we're not supposed to justify or make excuses and start eating that the food that is not healthy. Because at the end of the day, nutrition is the key. And you're not able to over exercise your overeating. So today I'll share a little more those excuses or justifications that we tend to do. Number one is procrastination after small wins. It might be that we have some kind of win, and it's okay. Like I have one small win, I will have take a break. I will rest. Do we really need that break? Do we need to treat that rest? A lot of times not. We just justify it because we do not want to pursue that. Because a lot of times we choose that small win, and that small win now, of course, that's something that's bigger thing. Now we feel uncomfortable doing that. And I think that we're supposed to really we forget how important is those small wins. If you actually achieve small win, that milestone, and you celebrate that meal and you get energy out of it, that energy is supposed to be used on bigger things, on bigger goals, on bigger challenges. I think that when you're able to really look into that and really challenge yourself, of course, that's much easier to achieve success rather than really focusing on those small wins that actually doesn't move that needle forward as much. Number two is self care as justification for avoidance. I think this is very, very common. Sometimes we say, okay, like I worked so hard, I need to rest. I worked so hard, I need to rest. But actually, when we rest, that is not rest. And I think that there's two words: there's rest and recharge. Rest and recharge, and the biggest thing is that rest could not add any value. And because the rest might be in your mind and or my mind or anyone's mind, it could be like even watching Netflix for half an hour. Maybe that's good. Maybe totally like when you able when you want to really numb your mind, but it's not like very very common. But when we look at okay, what kind of activities do recharge you? Going to nature, speaking with your friends, solitude, so that means we're supposed to look at the recharge and then we recharge and go ahead of really making things happen because self care is recharge, not rest. Self care is recharge, not rest. And there's a big distinction when we look into it because when we recharge, we're able to pursue our main objectives, our main goals because we took ourselves in a spot. Number three is overconfidence after learning something new. I think that this is again one mistake that we able to do is that when we learn something new and then we believe now we know everything. And what that leads to, that leads to that we don't spend as much time to really have that open mind beginner mind and really learn those all around details that are very, very essential to have overall understanding. Because you know the saying that if you're not able to explain uh, that information to a 3-year-old or 5-year-old, that means that maybe you are not understand that information yet clearly. And being able to really look with beginner mind in that information, of course, always lead to better outcomes. Number 4 is embracing comfort after taking risks. I think that now sometimes I know that if you never take a risk, maybe first time you need to take a break. But if we actually want to achieve big goals, we need to understand that taking risks is something that we're supposed to do constantly. There's supposed to be a habit of taking risks, not embracing comfort. And of course, we took a risk, and now I'm able to be in comfort zone. I took a risk for a year ago. Now I'm able to be in a comfort zone. A lot of times people say like, "Oh, I went to college for 4 years. Now I don't need any education anymore." And I think that's false because we're able to really improve. We need some kind of teaching knowledge. We need coaching, building skill sets. We need mentors who are able to teach us and coach us on the mindset, mentor us. So that means that we always need to develop. When we take a risk, we learn it. And I would say, like, what kind of risk could I take? Calculate risk could I take next to develop my life to another level? Number 5 is using past successes and excuse for stagnation. I guess it's very, very similar. That means that we had some kind of success, and when you really are in one position, yeah, like, but the 5 years I won that, and I think that we always need to have very short memory for the wins, and especially even the shorter memory for the losses. We need to learn from losses, learn from successes, because it's like both of them brings a lot of value. So from failures, you understand, okay, what didn't work? What I'm able to adjust to make sure that next time I do better. From successes, what did work? What did they do to make success? Because I think that one of the biggest mistakes that's including myself, I think that people do are that they, in one area of their life, they succeed, and in another area they fail. And for one area they use one kind of habits. For other area they use totally different habits. And then they're asking why I have succeeded in one area, but I am failing in another. Maybe you're supposed to look at, okay, what do I actually do in the area that I succeed, and transfer the same habits in the other area of life. It's a very, very interesting topic, but I found so many people, including myself, that we're not able to transfer from on one area to another. Like, let's say that sports or physical athletics, or being able to be the best in sports, but in finance maybe not. So I mean that's what really actually allow you to achieve success in your physique in athletics, sports. That's what you're able to transfer in other areas of life, because it's very, very similar things that you're able to transfer to other things when you're actually looking into how you're able to transform that. Number 6 is forgiving bad habits after a good effort. Forgiving bad habits after a good effort. That means that I think that's when, okay, I gave effort, and that means that's the good. That's totally fine. Like all those, I think that's you put your 1 hour of great work, and then you 5 hours of gaming. 1 hour of great work, and then 5 hours of game. No, it's supposed to be different. That means that I'm okay with them, and I'm happy sometimes when you have some kind of celebration, acknowledging that you put a great work and effort, especially at the beginning when you quite new in person development, in person growth and improvement. So you're able to have like 5 hours of developing the skill set, and then allocate 1 hour to do something that you really actually love. But you're not supposed to have those bad habits be the main idea. So when we do the bad habits, and then at the same time we do for 15 minutes, maybe half an hour, maybe an hour of saying, oh, I did something. Now, I know that at the beginning, an hour is better than nothing. But if we have it 1 hour, that means that the main goal is then increase it. Maybe start for 5 minutes, maybe for 10 minutes, then with 15 minutes, then half an hour, then 1 hour, then 2 hours. And then in the long run, you can potentially appreciate your growth, progress. Of course, if you're playing games 6 hours, and now You will not be able to transfer 6 hours more, but you most likely to really developing yourself. So that means transferring little by little will probably give more results. Number seven is compensating for emotional outbursts. It might be that we really bring that anger or sadness or whatever kind of emotion that we bring outside. And of course, we say, I'm sorry. I think that there's more things that we're able to do than just saying, I'm sorry. So we're able to say what we will be doing to make sure that it doesn't happen again. Because I'm sorry without repentance. It's not a strong sorry because almost I'm sorry, but I will repeat it in the future. But if I actually say this is I'm sorry I did it, I didn't know that, and I will not repeat it because this is what I will include. This is what I will start doing. This is this is why. Of course, if you say that why I did it, this could be excuse. But if you explain like this is what I will do next to that make sure that it doesn't happen again. Of course, that is totally different. Total different being able to really ask for forgiveness. Number eight is justifying poor boundaries with generosity. It's such an interesting thing. So a lot of times we think that we are kind, we generous, we want to give our time, our energy, our resources to people that we love, we like, maybe our friends. But a lot of times this robs us, and a lot of times it's not generosity. Saying yes is not generosity. Saying yes is a weakness. And why is that? Why generosity? This kind of generosity, saying yes is weakness. Generosity is when you have ability to say yes or no and based on your own choice. Now, of course, you chose to say yes. But when I say choice is that you're not supposed to be afraid of rejection, afraid of something. Because a lot of times if you make a yes just of fear of rejection, that means it's wrong. This is not a generosity. That is a weakness. That's insecurity. And we need to heal through that. Generosity comes when you have actually taken care of yourself and you have enough resources to help and add value to others. That is actually generosity, and that is a virtue. As I said, if you say yes only because you were afraid of rejection, that is a weakness. If you say yes because you actually have resources to do so, that's a generosity. Number nine is using good intentions to excuse inaction. And this is very common. Like I tended to do this, but I didn't do. I will do it tomorrow. I will do it in a month. I will do it 6 months. I have good intentions, but I will do it next month. I didn't do anything, but I had intentions to do great things. That's a terrible thing. I think that how long we will lie to ourselves that good intentions without actions is equal zero. It doesn't matter. You can now I understand that good intentions is the beginning of everything, is the foundation, but that's not where it's supposed to stop. When you start building a house, you start from foundation, but if you still build a whole house to be able to live in them, so that means that your great intention is foundation. But now you need to build great actions on that foundation, on that great intention. Because of course, if there's bad intentions, though foundation there's no foundation, if everything will fall down. But if you have great intentions and you have great foundations, you can build a massive, massive thing, a massive important thing. Number 10, and the last one that I want you to really speak is that social goodness to mask personal neglect. Social goodness. This is again, this is when I was speaking about shadow work the last couple of days. It's such an interesting thing. That means we always think that, and again, this is again this difference between being nice and being kind, being nice and being kind. Because I don't want to be a nice guy. I want to be a kind guy, and those are totally different. So a nice guy, sometimes could be a passive aggressive. They could be saying nice things, but they in at the same time they could be polite. They say nice things, but in the same time they could mean totally different things because they are not comfortable to share their true thoughts. They are uncomfortable to have difficult conversations because when you think about really and sharing your thoughts to other people, what really adds value to people? Telling them the truth or telling them what they want to hear? Nice people tell them what they want to hear. Kind people tell them what they need to hear. And really, telling people what they need to hear will create a lot of resistance. That means it might be that you will lose a lot of people because of that. But I think that we need to understand that it's better to have strong relationships that are based on strong foundation and being able to tell the truth and being able to be kind. Rather than have shallow relationships where you're able to say only the things that other person want to hear. That's why we need to choose our relationships, our association based on the values. And again, we need to learn how to be kind, not nice. Because I think that a lot of times people see nice to be a virtue. Oh, I tell them compliment, I told you what they want to hear. But that is, I think that we devalue people when you actually tell them what they want to hear. We didn't add any value because I already knew that. Sometimes we validate what they already know, even though that is not right, not correct. So really, actually, when you want to be adding value to people, we need to be kind and really adding adding that difficult conversation, crucial conversation will help them at the same time improve us because we need to improve our leadership and communication skills. Because the more we do that, the better we get. So I hope you choose to win and see you tomorrow.